and welcome to The Artist Behind the Music. Today, our special guest is Sarah Wickett from Ontario. Welcome to the show, girl.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to talk with you and to hear a little bit more about your story and how you got to where you are. So let's just talk a little bit about what got you started in music and why you decided to pursue music as something that you do on a day-to-day.
Yeah, oh, it feels like it was so long ago now that everything. But I think my passion for music and actually performing came from a young age for me. I was a figure skater for 8 years competitively, so that's kind of like performing in itself. And I always kind of wanted to branch out and do a bit more of that. So after I quit figure skating and got into dance, and I was doing some vocal lessons on the side as well, because my parents knew that I loved to sing, but I was a really shy kid, so I wouldn't even sing in front of them. So they thought if they put me in vocal lessons, I would kind of break out of my shell a bit and be a better singer. So
Clutter the bedroom. I don't know about you. I'm just gonna put a sidebar to this story, but I remember being in my bedroom thinking nobody could hear me, and I would just sing at the top of my lungs. And I was also very shy, and I'm like, no one can hear me. I'm just in my little oasis, and then the neighbors and like people 5 doors down, all of a sudden, oh, I love listening to you sing. What?
yeah. And you like never do it again. Yeah. Or my parents would open the door a bit and I would be like just petrified if they caught me dancing or something.
Funny how
But
we were kind of programmed like not to express ourselves in front of people, but in our bedrooms it was safe.
in the mirror, just like you in the mirror. Yeah, that's great.
Totally.
But yeah, then I
Anyways,
kind of
back to you.
then I got into dance, like I said, and did kind of mix that with my singing, but singing was kind of always the focus. So I did quite a few talent shows. I got into like YouTube and stuff in high school, and took guitar lessons and just kind of continued growing from there. And then once I went to college, I really realized that if I was gonna move to Toronto to pursue music, I was going to do it seriously. So I found a band and I started writing my own stuff, probably in my first year of college. And that's kind of where it all started. And now I'm here and just still doing this stuff, and it's been great.
I love that. So do you think being a figure skater, having that like fitness mindset, has that helped you, like especially being a competitively, do you find that tools have helped you as a performer?
Um, so the thing with figure skating, you're not like, obviously you're expressing yourself with your body, but nothing's like coming out of your mouth, if that makes sense. I've never talked about this before, or how that could have helped me in the music industry. But yeah, I mean, I guess it totally did. And like, you perform on the ice, but it's different than performing and singing. Whereas I guess you're just like using your body to express yourself, and singing and performing music is you're using your voice. So yeah, I definitely think the performing aspect helped my performance, because I love it, but I don't know if it helped my nerves at all. Like
It's interesting that you say, physically you were performing, but the voice, how it's such a separate thing from just
yeah,
moving your body. But
I feel like
really, it's
it's so much more vulnerable when you're like something's coming out of you that like you have to like be coordinated when you dance and everything, and of course like dancers are insanely talented, but I feel like when something's coming out of you, like it's just so much harder and like to control, and you have to sound on point like all the time, and it's just I just feel like it's a lot more vulnerable for me at least.
for sure, it is a vulnerable thing using your voice to sing and to perform and even to speak. I mean, so many people have challenges just getting up in front of somebody and
Yeah,
speaking. But then there's people, they're scared to even dance on a dance floor in a club. So it's so neat to me how we're all so different in what we feel safe with expressing ourselves.
yeah.
So interesting. So how do you feel like you overcome those nerves that come up for you when you're using your voice in a vulnerable way?
I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I do still get, excuse me, pretty nervous before, but I feel like as soon as I'm actually out on stage and performing and like loving my life, it's great, and the nerves kind of just go away on their own. But other than like a glass of wine before a show, I don't know. And I never used to be able to drink before shows either, because I would get so nervous that even just drinking would make me even more nervous, which is kind of weird, but it just wasn't good. So
But
now I
I
kind of,
things, right?
yeah. And now I like am able to have a glass of wine, and it does relax me a bit, and it's just fun, but I definitely still get a bit nervous, and I don't, if you have any tips, I would love to know.
Yeah, I think nerves are all part of it, but I always like to talk about, I had this one moment where I just realized that nerves and excitement are the same physical feeling. And if we can somehow learn to switch the light switch and change the mindset to, no, I'm excited. I'm still going to feel the same physical, you kind of feel sick to your stomach, you get hot and sweaty, maybe jittery. But just when the mindset is focused on, oh, I love doing this, and like this is exciting, as opposed to, oh my God, people are going to judge me and I'm out there using my voice and it's scary. Those, all those crazy feelings of fear and anxiety that just wash you over like a wave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually so true. And I feel like I have started to kind of talk to myself before doing anything really that I'm kind of nervous about, and just like talking myself up in the mirror. And I feel like that helps so much.
It does. It really does. Like, throw a post-it note. Like, I write myself notes all the time, and they're all over my desk in case I start going down like a tunnel of fear, because it happens on the daily, I think, for everybody in some aspect. But if you have little reminders around you that you can be like, nope, that's the stop sign to fear. It's like my little post-it notes all over my desk.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't know, the scariest thing for me is just messing up, and like self-doubt almost. Like I know I'm good, and like I know my songs and whatever, but it's, I don't know. Just messing up is so scary. I don't know why.
It is. And I think we're trained that as kids, right? Like, things happen when we're little where it's like, can't make a mistake, or I'm bad, or I'll be in trouble. And then it's just like we develop this, I have to be perfect. And life's not about being perfect. I think just remembering that too, right? Is like, we all are afraid of messing up. And sometimes when we can relate to that with other
Yeah.
people, like, I'm scared of that too. You're scared of that. If I know you're scared of it, kind of makes it a little less scary,
Yeah.
because it's like a little more neutral.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
when a big celebrity messes up or something, it's kind of like, it's kind of nice. It's
I
like,
love that. I'm like, yes, they're human.
it's so nice. Not that like, we want them to mess up, but everyone does. And it's really humbling to know, I think.
Totally, totally. And I think just having these conversations, and it minimizes the fear, and it minimizes that monster that tells you you're not good enough, right? And just when we share these stories and other people, or when we hear these stories from other people, it just kind of neutralizes the fear, and allows us kind of to have that more dance in your bedroom kind of freedom, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's so much more fun to live like that. How would you say this past crazy wild year has been for you, and what was your biggest takeaway maybe from the past year and experiences that have
Um,
come up?
yeah. Well, other than performing, I feel like I've been lucky enough to do a lot of stuff with my music. And I used to work in marketing and events, and I used to just run myself down to the point where like I didn't even have time for music really. I was just so busy all the time with like everything, and I thought that was normal.
Mhm.
So I kind of like, I lost my job obviously because events aren't happening, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I was able to write some really great songs and just like literally do nothing except for music. So I think the biggest takeaway was definitely just realizing that it's not, you don't have to be busy all the time. It's cool to just lay in bed and watch some Netflix and write some songs and just chill out. And I never used to be able to do that. It would always feel really weird and foreign to not be doing something or running around like crazy all the time. So,
Yeah, I find that's just been such an interesting thing for everybody this year, is just that
mhm.
slowing down, or being forced to stop the normal, right?
Yeah.
If nothing happened this year that would have stopped you from working, like, do you think you would have shifted or adjusted, or what would have made you change? kind of what I always like to think.
Before the pandemic, I actually haven't performed since 2017 because right before the pandemic, I was kind of trying to shift my sound and just really try to figure out what I wanted my music to sound like and just like kind of get to the bottom of like me and my purpose and everything. So I took a year off of performing because I was just doing mostly like bar shows and covers and stuff. And I really wanted to do shows that were more so people coming to see me and playing and like seeing my music and whatever. So I took a year off. It was like end of 2017. So 2018, I didn't perform at all. And I just kind of wrote and figured out what I wanted to do. And then I guess end of, oh, that was a long time ago. I guess end of summer of 2019, I finally got in the studio and started recording. And I was like, yeah, like 2020 is going to be the year I'm going to, do it all, but obviously not. So I think I was still like on my way to, figuring out my own music and what I wanted to do. But so I probably still would have done that. But 2020 really allowed me to dig even deeper into that and just focus solely on that. And yeah, I'm really grateful for the pandemic, I guess.
Yeah, no, and that's okay. Like, I don't think there should be any, guilt attached to that. I think it's important to look at this past year and see, where we have won and where we have grown, because that's really the best thing we can do in life, right? Is always kind of turn the to the rain into rainbows, if you will. So, yeah, for sure. It's been crazy, but you've released some great tunes this past year.
Thank you.
Last year, and you've had some great success on your videos and YouTube. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the releases you've put out over the past little while?
Sure. Yeah, I put out quite a few songs in 2020. I think my most successful one was Accent, which is like a country Punjabi collab.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, who has done that? Has anyone else done that? I mean, I haven't seen anything like that. I love it.
I don't think there has been anyone in country music, at least. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And I didn't even know if the two like genres could work together, but my producers killed it. And, I think it sounds really great. And it's still, I'm working on more music like that. I have a song already recorded, which is like that. So I'm excited for that one. But yeah, Accent really took off, and I'm so happy because it was a risk that I took, and I didn't know how people were going to react to it. But I love Punjabi music, and I was like with someone who was Punjabi, so I was really passionate about that at the time. Still am. And yeah, that's why I did that one.
That's so cool. And I just want to note or touch base, like, when you follow what you love,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what people think. It does its thing. And the people that gravitate towards that will celebrate it, and the others don't matter, right? But it is scary to put yourself out there and do something completely different. So I find what you're doing is just super inspiring, to step way out of the comfort zone and the normal boundaries of country music and really push the envelope and create your own sound. I love it. I think it sounds great, and I can't wait to hear more of it from you.
Yeah, I think I don't know really know where it fits right now in like the industry, but I think with everything online right now and TikTok and all of those apps, I feel like the industry isn't as important to kind of, please per se. And it's more like the fans are choosing what is popular right now. Like the fans are choosing everything because they're able to. So I think that's really cool.
I think it's so cool too. It's just really shifted the way music is working and shifted the way we can access fans and connect with different people. So cool.
Yeah.
And then you have a new release out.
I do, yeah. So I have a really sad song out right now that I just released. It's called 2 Feet. And yeah, unfortunately, I did end a relationship, and it was kind of a public relationship. So I felt like I just had to kind of address everything and everyone at the same time, which is kind of difficult because I feel like public, I was obviously dealing with the actual feelings of the breakup with him and being heartbroken and everything, but also getting questions and messages from other people being like, what happened? What did he do? What did you do? Did he leave you? Like all of the assumptions were also kind of hurtful too. So just trying to clear the air with like a music video and like a Q&A video that I did, I think was the right move, and it felt right for me and gave me some closure. So that's what I did. And yeah, I'm really happy about it. And I think the song is great. It really portrays kind of what I went through, and it's really honest and vulnerable. And I love when artists do that. So I wanted to do that too.
Oh, so inspiring. And once again, just, stepping out of your comfort zone and creating magic that's authentic to your heart. And I think that's really important when you stay true to that path, and, nothing else matters. The fear doesn't matter. The monsters in the mind don't matter, right? Because it's just comes from here, which is
and it's so much more rewarding when you're actually telling your truth, and it's like 100% the truth. I feel like I would rather do that than try to hide it with something else, or kind of put some other story on it. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. It's inspiring. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable, because that's a domino effect, and it inspires other people to connect with your story and to elevate higher and live their truth as well. So thank you for being a truth seeker. I love that. Well, I would love to hear you play a tune. If you are ready, I am ready.
Of course. So I'll play 2 Feet for you.
Excellent. Excited. I love this song.
Okay. Here we go. Hoping one day you'd see me, but it's like
So good. I love how it just ends on that sad chord. It just leaves you hanging. Just leaves you wanting more. So good. Well, I love that song. It's beautiful. And it's an awesome video. You did a great job. So everyone watching, if you haven't seen her video yet, make sure to check it out after this one. It's been so nice chatting with you, Sarah. Thank you so much for showing up and joining me on The Artist Behind the Music. I always love wrapping it up with a question. If you had one message to share with the world, what would it be?
Oh my gosh.
I know the pressure. No.
I think just don't be afraid to be yourself and to be vulnerable, because I feel like being vulnerable is one of the hardest, but one of the most beautiful things. And it can bring so many rewards. So just be you, be vulnerable, and everything that you ever dreamed of is going to come to you if you are authentically yourself.
I love that. That's beautiful advice. And it really sums up our conversation today. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it really does. Thank you so much. It's actually been so nice chatting with you.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad to have had you on. It's been great. Well, thanks. And I can't wait to see what else you come up with in the near future. And we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you.